Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today in the shop we've got a John Deere X595 John Deere garden tractor. And this is one of the finest garden tractors ever produced by John Deere. It has a 24 horsepower Yanmar or Yanmower diesel engine in it, and it's four-wheel drive. This one has a 54-inch deck, and it belongs to Bill, and he uses this tractor every day pretty much. Even in the winter, it's run once a week. And this is his baby. So it has a dead battery right now, so I use the little jumper box to get it started, bring it over here. But I'm gonna go ahead and change the battery out, and I figure maybe some people would like to see this. This tractor was produced between 2002 to 2006, and this particular one is a 2005. So let's get into it. Okay, so just to show you, turn the key, and we get some dash lights to come on, but pretty much nothing. And we don't even get a click. So let's get the hood up on this thing. Okay, and Bill would have changed this battery himself, but he couldn't figure out how to get to it. So start by raising the hood up. And then the battery's right down there in the front. The positive terminal is right underneath this cover. And what he didn't remember, because I know he's done this himself, is this hood just lifts. You can see these rubber grommets on each side. So this hood just lifts off this, which will give us good access to this battery. Okay, and the only thing you've got to do first is unplug the lights. So with that one plug, this hood's ready to come off. Okay, now that we've got our headlights unplugged, we're simply going to lift it up, and those rollers come right out and lift off. And now the hood is free. And that bottom part was already broken, so don't blame that on me. So here's that battery, and now with the hood off, it's pretty easy to access. Looks like we've got a rubber bungee cord, and then we've got our connections. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this battery out and get a new battery. But while we're at it, we're gonna change the air filter, and I'll probably take the power washer and clean this thing up just because it's pretty dirty. And we'll also clean out, get a little more airflow by cleaning this up. So here's the tag on this Yanmar diesel. And like I said, this is a little 3-cylinder diesel. And this one was 2004 is when it was manufactured. And we'll go ahead and change the oil in this while we're at it. And here's our oil filter. And it's a John Deere filter. It's a M806418. So we'll get one of those as well. While we're here, I'll go ahead and get rid of any of these random sticks that are in it. If I can get, there we go. So we don't really need that. And we'll go ahead and grease everything while we're under here. Okay, so our bungee cord just has an end here that goes into that little clip. And we pull it out. Now we can slide our battery out. Now we can access our terminals to take those off. Okay, and so looking at this battery, it's got some tears in this, but I think that they just didn't punch out the year, because what it almost looks like is maybe 02, which that would mean this battery was put in way before this tractor was built. That's probably not what had happened. And these battery terminals are a 13mm wrench is all it takes. Good old American 13mm. And with all this metal up here, be careful you don't touch your terminal and metal. You'll get an arc if it wasn't for the fact this battery's just so freaking dead. It won't arc nothing. And we'll take these terminals off. All right, we'll pull this battery out and go get a replacement. I love these battery carriers like this. You do have to be careful. If there's not a lip on the edge, they can slide off. But otherwise, the heavier the battery is, the more securely it holds. And this, there you go, it's a Rule King battery. So we might just run over to Rule King and pick up another one. Okay, let's take a look at this air filter. as dirty and dusty as this motor is, I'm a little afraid what this filter might look like inside. And I can tell it's already gonna be bad. There's a wasp nest. So I would say it's due. I've never seen like a 1/4 inch of dirt caked on a filter like that. But hey, we've seen it now. So let's get one of these as well, obviously. And this filter actually has a little inner filter. Now, you saw how bad that outer filter was. And that don't look bad for as dirty as that inner was. So we'll try and get this replaced also. But if we can't, we'll just go ahead and clean that up and reuse the inner filter. And look at this, actually on this filter, it says, do not clean. So they want you to just replace it. And that's what we're gonna try to do. Sometimes getting these things can be tough though. We've got a local Napa and a local lawnmower shop, and we'll see what we can find out. Okay, while we're waiting on getting some parts, let's go ahead and drain the oil. Sorry, I just blocked the view. So it has this weird little oil drain thing instead of just a regular bolt. And I don't know if it's to get it out past the drive shaft. Got a collar that's bad here. But anyway, so it takes a 10mm wrench here to open this valve and let the oil drain out. So let me get an oil drain pan in place, and then we'll get that drained out. Okay, so hopefully I've got you set up. I've got our oil drain pan in place. Here is our little oil valve, oil drain valve, and we've got a 10mm wrench. So I'm trying to do this so you can see it. I think all you can see is my big freaking arm. But there we go. So that turned pretty easily. And I just saw a drop. There we go. Turn up my finger. And it's starting to flow. Let me go over and open the oil fill plug. Take the oil fill cap off and see if that doesn't speed it up. It looks like maybe it did just a little bit. So we're going to be here a while. But we're draining the oil out with this nifty little, I don't know, the thing's pretty weird, but weird can be good. I kind of prefer just a regular cap, I think, but hey, whatever. One thing that would be nice with that is you could put a hose on that. This little barb fitting. And in fact, it might have had a hose on it at one time. Like I said, this tractor's over 20 years old now. Okay, and while the oil's draining, I'm gonna see if we can get these filters off. This is just the air intakes to let the engine cool, and see what it takes to pull this off there. Looks like maybe there's a bolt in it there, but looks like maybe it might just lift off. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. So I'll take those out and wash them. I'll get the one off the other side as well. Okay, let's see if this one will just lift out of there like the other one did. Yep. So that pulls air through to cool the radiator. The fan is right here basically. And I'm sure that cleaning that off will help it run just a little bit cooler. Okay, and I was looking around, and both my Kubota and Coyote tractors have guards over the radiators, and I was looking, and look at this. So here's one more screen that we can clean, and that is the one that is right in front of the radiator, and the fan pulls stuff through there. So between cleaning these and then this screen, we should be doing ourselves some favors. While we're waiting on that oil drain, let's go ahead and check this antifreeze, and it's cooled off enough now. Got a little bit of a pressure release there. Let's see. So it's not real high. I don't see any in this thing. Obviously, this is supposed to be the level in the tank. But if we look down in there, you see the top of those coils. So I'm just gonna go ahead and top off the radiator, and then I'll throw the rest. I don't have a whole lot in that gallon, so throw the rest in our little reservoir. And I shouldn't even need a funnel for this, I don't think. If I spilled everywhere, I guess I did. Maybe it won't even have enough to fill up the radiator. Looks like I'm gonna have to get some more, a little bit more antifreeze. I can at least see it covering the radiator fins now, but we'll grab some more antifreeze. Got another gallon of antifreeze, so go ahead and top this off. And I'm using a funnel this time because with a full jug, I probably would not manage to miss something. All right, so the radiator's full. Let's go ahead and top off the little tank. We'll fill up our reservoir as well. And we're right in between the marks, so I think that's good enough. All right, well, the antifreeze is ready to go. We got one thing ready, and it does look like we've quit dripping on our oil tray down there, oil pan. So I'll go ahead and close that valve and move that and get ready to put the 3 quarts of oil back in this thing. It uses 3 quarts of 15W40, and I think what we're gonna use is Shell Rotella. All right, I've got the oil drain plug tightened back up, and I was looking at these hydraulic fittings. So this is one of the things that made this old diesel garden tractor so desirable. They actually had a front end loader for one of these, and this is where it would hook up. So we don't have one, and probably the expense of getting one just wouldn't be worth it. We've got 1025Rs that do basically what this tractor did back in the day, but this is a very desirable tractor. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this filter off. And I change a lot of oil, and I change a lot of oil in small equipment. And I'll tell you what, I've really been impressed with the channel lock style filter wrenches. But I was Harbor Freight the other day, and they had this whole industry self-adjusting oil filter pliers. And my big channel locks won't fit on a filter this small, so let's try these out, see if they're any good. Grabs on at least. You know, and this wasn't tight, but hey, that worked. These things were like $10 too, which is the amazing part. So I like channel locks really well, but I think these Holt ones will work just fine. Let's pull this off. I've got my oil drain plug down there, which is a good thing I did because some just came out. All right, so here's that filter, and we're getting the new one picked up right now. So I'll put the new one on as soon as it gets here. As we're talking about this tractor, I'm kind of showing you how dirty this is, which, believe it or not, I mean, yeah, a lot of people are saying, man, how can you abuse a piece of equipment that nice? And all I'll say is this is used a lot in the fall for de-leafing. And in Indiana, we're in a drought right now with a total burn ban. I mean, you can't walk across the yard without a ton of dust coming up. So is it filthy? Yes, absolutely it is. We're going to clean it up. But for its use by an 83-year-old man that keeps his yard immaculate, you know, and doesn't honestly probably have time to do a whole lot of the maintenance. I've been doing this maintenance for the last year, and this is the first time I worked on this tractor. But, you know, for what it is, it ain't bad. Okay, while I'm waiting on my supplies, I'm going to start looking for grease fittings and greasing them. And this one, according to Google, is like an almost hidden one, but it's on the front axle. And so we're going to go ahead and grease it, and then I'll show you the other one that might not be obvious right off the bat. You know, all the ones on the mower deck are pretty obvious. And on these grease fittings, I always like to wipe them off with a rag before I put my grease fitting on it. Okay, and grease is coming out, so that one is greased. The other one that would be hard, except for this boot is ripped, and we'll get another one of those and probably put that on in a separate video if y'all like seeing these old tractors worked on. But inside this universal is a grease fitting. So let me get that hooked up. All right, we'll throw some grease in that. And it's starting to come out the universal, so mission accomplished. I'll tell you what, these locking lubes are worth their weight in gold, in my opinion. They're a little bit expensive, but they sure do work good. And grease is coming out, so we're good shape. All right, let's see if there's any others we can find. The mower deck has a bunch of them. Probably don't need to show you all those. Basically, every spindle on that will have a grease fitting. All right, well, we've got our parts so we can start putting stuff back together. This is that inner filter. It's Stens number 100-541. And it looks just like the old one. So put that in. And then our new outer filter is also a Stens, and it's 19-11842. So slide it on. And then put our cap on. All right, so the air filter's in. Let's go ahead and put the new oil filter in and put some oil in this. Here's our new oil filter. And it is Stens part 120360. This, I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm not sure if that looks like it might be larger than the old one. Okay, well that's not gonna work. That's definitely not the same filter. Or is it? You know what? It lines up the same. We'll see if that'll go on there. So I ran some oil around that seal. Let's see if that'll go on there. It's quite a bit different, but it looks like to me that the sealing gasket lines up in the right place. Okay, I think that'll work. So let's put our 3 quarts of oil in. I've got this Shell Rotella 15W40 in the 2.5 gallon jug, and we need 3 quarts. I've got a 99-cent measuring cup from Walmart. We're back for 2. And here's 3, but I'm gonna short that just a little bit and then check it with a dipstick after we've run it and top it off so we don't overfill it. It said, the book says 2.8 liters, which then it said is 3 quarts. I don't know metrics versus quart conversion, so I just checked the dipstick. Plus we want to check, make sure that oil filter doesn't leak, since it definitely doesn't look the same as the old one. All right, we'll throw the cap on it. So we've got the oil changed. We've got the air filters changed. Let's throw the battery in it. Our battery will just sit up here. And I'll put my negative on. And I'll go ahead and throw the positive on it. And tighten these down. Again, remember, don't let your wrench hit anything metal when you're doing the positive, or you're liable to see some sparks, which would not be ideal. Okay, that's tight. Just like that. All right, and that's tight. Slide these back. And we'll put our bungee cord back on. All right, we're ready to see if this thing will fire up, and then we can check our oil. Keep our fingers crossed. Check that oil, see where we're at. Let's make sure we're not leaking anything around that fuel filter, or around that oil filter. Okay, with my flashlight, nothing's leaking around that oil filter. Let's see where we're at with the dipstick. Look at that, right to the top. You know, sometimes you have to look up and find out if you can find a longer dipstick on Amazon maybe or eBay. But that worked out good this time. All right. All right, I'm gonna pull this thing out and we're gonna power wash it, and then we'll put the hood back on and drive it back over and deliver it. I've been told on a lot of the videos I've done that people say, man, if you don't power wash it, you know, what are you even doing? And I don't power wash everything, but some things definitely need it, and this is one of them. So I'm gonna use my Portland little electric power washer, and we're gonna start with these screens over here. All right, so we've got our screens done. Now I'm just gonna be careful not to spray any of the electrical stuff, but I'm gonna power wash this unit. Okay, and like I said, trying to be gentle, to stay away from some of the delicate parts of this. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to put you on the tripod to get two hands to do this. It's not gonna make it brand new no matter what I do. It's still a 20-year-old tractor. These need just a little bit more washing. Do the other side. All right. Go over to the other side and put it on. Okay, and this one goes right here. All right, and now the hood goes on. And if you remember, those little balls that are inside the hood go right down in that track, and then we plug our lights back in and it's ready to roll. Okay, I've got that first ball in the track on both sides. Down, there it goes. Now the second one goes in. And we're ready to roll. I gotta plug my lights in. Okay, so this connector right here plugs in for our lights. Here we go. And just like that, it's a lawn tractor. All right, since I sprayed all the electronics, we'll see if it'll start. So check it out, 743 hours on this tractor, and it's 20 years old. That's like 43 hours a year. Still pretty good use. All right, well, that's our John Deere X595 video. We appreciate you watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. It absolutely helps the channel, and we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day, and be safe.